the evolution of classical music in video games. The evolution of classical music in video games is explored, highlighting how composers have used iconic pieces to enhance the emotional impact of gameplay. From the early days of Night on Bald Mountain in Castlevania, to the more recent use of Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring in The Last of Us Part 2, the video showcases how classical music has become an integral part of the video game experience. Have you ever noticed how certain video games seem to explode with emotion? It's not just the graphics or the story, it's the music. Join us as we dive into the fascinating evolution of classical music in video games and discover how composers use iconic pieces to create unforgettable experiences. Shocking statement. You might think video games are all about synthesized soundtracks, but think again. For decades, composers have been incorporating classical masterpieces into games, adding a layer of depth and emotional resonance that you might not even realize. Get ready to have your gaming experience reimagined as we explore the surprising history of classical music in video games. Promise of value. Want to experience your favorite video games in a whole new light? We'll take you on a journey through the history of classical music in video games, revealing how iconic pieces from Bach to Stravinsky have shaped the gaming landscape, from nostalgic classics to modern masterpieces. Prepare to amaze by the power of music in gaming. Classical music's early entrance. Exploring the early use of classical music in games like Castlevania and Final Fantasy. Showcasing the power of iconic pieces like Night on Bald Mountain to create suspense and atmosphere. Discussing how composers use classical music to evoke specific emotions and create memorable experiences. Expanding the score, evolution of orchestral techniques. Analyzing how game composers began incorporating orchestral elements into their soundtracks, creating a richer and more immersive experience. Highlighting the use of full orchestras in games like The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, and God of War to create epic scores that complement the action. Mentioning how the use of modern technology has allowed for greater experimentation with orchestral arrangements. Beyond the classics, new directions in music composition. Exploring the rise of contemporary classical music in games, with composers like Jesper Kyd and Austin Wintory incorporating elements of modern composition. Examining how game music has evolved to embrace a wider range of genres and styles, including electronic, ambient, and world music. Discussing how game composers are pushing boundaries and creating truly innovative soundtracks. The emotional impact. Connecting with players on a deeper level. Analyzing the emotional resonance of classical music in video games. Highlighting how iconic pieces can evoke nostalgia, fear, joy, and sadness. Showcasing examples of how composers use classical music to enhance specific moments in games, creating unforgettable experiences. Discussing how the use of classical music can deepen players' connection to the game world and characters. The future of game music, where the symphony goes next. Exploring potential of artificial intelligence and machine learning in game music composition. Discussing how virtual reality and augmented reality games might utilize classical music in new and innovative ways. Reflecting on the enduring legacy of classical